Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambo channel. Here's a headline from the Crypto Basic. Ex-banker gives reasons why this bull run will be, quote, a special one for XRP, end quote. And I will tell you my personal opinion without ever making a price prediction, because I've never done that and I never will, because it would be disingenuous. I'd just be pulling something out of thin air. My expectation is that this is going to be the most impressive bull run for XRP in history in dollar terms. I mean, think about this, folks. The degree to which XRP has been suppressed for so long, but now the actual legal clarity, the institutional money flowing in, the whales, and this is against a backdrop of positive price action for crypto in general. And we know XRP follows broadly what's happening in crypto, and when it pops, it really goes. Historically, that's how XRP behaves. It may go last. Historically, it certainly has. But when it goes, my God, it goes. And it melts faces. So I'm going to share with you some thoughts and perspectives, and I have some opinions from others within the industry, including a couple analysts here. And I also want to highlight this unrelated topic, but I found fascinating. So I'm going to share it with you. Here's a headline from you today. Ex-Binance CEO CZ facing 10 years behind bars. Now, this was fascinating to me because what had previously been reported until this news broke was that CZ was facing no more than a maximum of 18 months, because that's what the Department of Justice, I believe that's the government agency that was pushing, the Department of Justice was pushing for that. It seems as though there's a clear indication that's not the case. So, and I'll just assume that everybody's caught up to speed on the fact that Binance CEO, former CEO now, CZ, did plead guilty to various charges, including those having to do with money laundering and other things. And so this is not an FTX type situation where customer funds were misused, at least so far as we know. There's been no sort of evidence of that, and I haven't seen allegations along those lines. Not quite like that anyway. And so, although there's no evidence that any customers have been hurt, he's admitted to breaking the law, and he could be in much more trouble than what we were thinking initially. But before going further, I do want to be clear, I do not have a financial background of any kind. I am not offering financial advice, and you definitely should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. I'm just an enthusiast who enjoys making YouTube videos about crypto-related topics, but just as a hobby and just for fun. All right, there is this post by a gentleman named Bob Lucas, who is a very well-known trader and analyst, 242,000 followers on social media platform X, and he simply wrote, "This 30-plus day upward sloping range on Bitcoin feels like a powder keg." Now, as I've been saying for some time, even if you don't hold Bitcoin, you don't give a damn about Bitcoin, you're just here for XRP, that's why you're in crypto, or if it's just your number one bag, if you're like me and that's the crypto you care most about, you should still care about Bitcoin tremendously because it leads the market. It always has, and for the indefinite future, it will. Even if it doesn't always, but it does now, very clearly. And so we want that. We want this. I'm happy for this to be the case. And chart analyst Credible Crypto is thinking along the same lines. And he wrote the following. This is the most recent update tonight. He wrote, "It is no doubt in my mind the break from this vertical accumulation will be explosive. The only question that is left is when it will blow. When it does, we ain't stopping at 40K either, in my opinion. Bitcoin is crawling now so that it can sprint later." And so look, I wanted to start by highlighting something about Bitcoin because XRP follows Bitcoin. It always has, and maybe it won't always, but no reason to think it would stop right this second. And Credible Crypto, just in my humble opinion, he's one of the best analysts out there. He's way more right than incorrect. And I say incorrect, it's more about, he says, here's the probability of outcomes. Not that he's literally promised anything, but in terms of what he thinks is most probable, that is indeed typically the case. So let's set the table with Bitcoin going absolutely ballistic and XRP following. That would be my suspicion. Now, there's this perspective from Crypto Insight UK, and this is an XRP BTC chart on your screen. And he wrote XRP versus Bitcoin on the monthly. XRP's largest impulse against Bitcoin and price in general was around 5,200%, Right now, we are holding a higher floor, and our technical structure is more bullish after a longer consolidation. RSI is grinding upwards. Something is coming. We can all smell it in the air, right? It does seem as though there's actually something. There are too many things that align too perfectly. I mean, unless you get a wild card event, a black swan event, that's always my caveat. Always will be. If you get one of those, fine. Never mind. Pause the bull run. Or just strike with the hammer, whatever's happening, fine. Come back in a year or two, whatever. But outside of that, that's not what it looks like. And what he's stating here in terms of consolidation, it's not lost on me. It's just this thing's been coiling for so damn long, XRP. And it's been so artificially suppressed. I just think when it goes, it's gonna just rip faces right on off, man. It's gonna be gross. And now somebody responded to Crypto Insight UK and wrote, "Do you think we'll see any XRP price action this year?" And Crypto Insight UK responded with the following: "I really think we are ready to see a massive impulse. My blast-off charts, I was demonstrating why, whilst using the average time XRP normally lags Bitcoin's moves. So basically, I think it's coming, and soon. It's just when is the question. The higher Bitcoin goes, the higher XRP can go, so history tells us. I'm cheering Bitcoin on right now. XRP lags, but moves fast when it does. The whole XRP move could start and be done in a couple of weeks. Finding the start point is so hard, so I just hold and wait with my main bags." Okay, now that I respect. And I agree with everything that he wrote specifically there. And it just happens to be the case. I was mentioning this in my very last video. Like when XRP finally goes, it's going to be a ton of fun. And it's going to be over in the blink of an eye. So like, yeah, spending years dollar cost averaging in, that's one thing. But then imagining exiting all of that and you have like 2 weeks. You know what I mean? Because now technically you could have a little bit more. Let me expand upon this because I didn't mention this in my last video because I was kind of being brief on the topic. But it is true. If you look at XRP's most impressive move ever, from 20 cents roughly to close to $4, which would be the middle of December 2017 until January 4, 2018. So call it just roughly 2.5 weeks. That happened, but then there was an opportunity to sell. So even if you didn't sell before the top, there was some time where it was still, above $3 and then a little bit below $3 to where the price point would have been highly attractive, especially for those that were there for the beginning of that market cycle when XRP was trading for like half a penny. So like even if you miss the very tippy top, there can still be opportunities. So maybe you have, whether it's days or a whole week past that, maybe you could have a little bit more if you're still trying to exit. It's just that that's going to be trending downward at that particular point. But in theory, yes, you could have a little bit more time. Because you wouldn't get the tippy top then, but like for me, I'm not trying to hit the top. I don't care. I don't expect to hit the top. I have a rough range where I'm going to scale out of my XRP position. That's it. It's over a span of a few bucks, probably from roughly $5 to $8, because I bought enough that those price levels are attractive to me, and I want to take that risk off the table. It's going to be too much of my net worth at that point if those price levels hit. I got to start scaling out. So that's different. Now, if I had less XRP, I probably wouldn't be thinking about scaling out all of my XRP. I'd have a different perspective. Maybe I'd be willing to wait through a whole other market cycle without selling anything, because that's the type of guy I am. That's not what most people do, but that's what I do. I don't want to do what most people do. I don't want to get in and out of positions. I have convictions, and I stand by them, and unless the conviction goes away, like that's it. So all that to say, I think there's going to be a very short period of time. It's going to be a blast, and then it's going to be over, and then pick out your Lambo, man. It's Lambo time, right? Lambo and Champ, right? And then there was this headline from the Crypto Basic: ex-banker gives reasons why this bull run will be a special one for XRP. And oh yes, I firmly believe this is finally going to be the one after missing an opportunity for new all-time highs for XRP in 2021 because of that prick Jay Clayton and the rest of the asshats over at the SEC. We're finally going to get ours, I suspect. There's no guarantees, but I have strong convictions for so many reasons. Piece reads as follows. In a recent tweet, Kyron, a former banker, expressed his optimism about the upcoming bull run for the third largest altcoin, XRP, emphasizing the significant changes that have transpired since the last market cycle. Quote, "This bull run will be a special one for XRP," end quote, the financial expert proclaimed. According to Chiron, the previous bull run was marred by heavy suppression and inactivity due to the SEC lawsuit involving XRP and Ripple. As a result, XRP failed to engineer a significant bullish trajectory like other digital assets, which reclaimed new highs. However, Chiron believes Ripple has successfully turned the tables, transforming the situation into the most bullish outcome possible. So, okay, that I firmly agree with as well. Thank you, Ripple, for doing what you did. And thank you, John Deaton, for doing what you did. Because I'm telling you, without these efforts, I'm not so confident that I'd be thinking and talking the way that I am right now. But everything is actually lined up right now. It's and again, I know it's frustrating because we should have had it years ago. We should have had this incredible XRP price action years ago. But it is what it is. We got to deal with the cards were dealt. But I think he's right here. There's nothing clamping it down. So and XRP, yeah, directionally, it correlated with the price action of Bitcoin, which is good. You want to see that, and it did happen even in 2021. But man, it was shackled, and it no longer is. My convictions are strong. Like I keep saying, it's going to hit a new all-time high at some point in the future. I don't pretend to know when. It's going to melt faces. It's going to enter price discovery. Why would it not? I just can't imagine. There'd have to be a fundamental shift of some kind, something disastrous for me to change my perspective. Because that, in conjunction with how I know humans tend to behave when it comes to markets that are pure euphoria, why wouldn't they treat XRP the same as Bitcoin or ETH, or pick your coin that goes ballistic, Dogecoin? Come on. Of course. Although, unfortunately for CZ, founder of Binance, he's probably not going to get to enjoy it as much as us. Here's a headline from you today. Ex-Binance CEO CZ facing 10 years behind bars. And I did see this verified from other major sources. CBS was one of them. Mainstream media is talking about this too. So I saw the headline. I was like, what, 10 years? But I had already confirmed from sources that, the max would have been 18 months. What gives here? Well, check it out. According to former SEC official John Reed Stark, CZ, the former CEO of Binance, is now facing a potential prison sentence of up to 10 years. And so I just went straight to the source. Not that I'm a fan of John Reed Stark, because I don't find him to be intellectually honest. He's a former SEC guy. I've talked about him before. I don't want to go down that, but I don't want to share everything that he wrote here. But he did highlight, as he wrote here, a Saturday night DOJ reveal. Reads as follows. Per a late Saturday night Department of Justice court filing, not only did DOJ lawyers reiterate their argument that, until sentencing, CZ should be restricted to living in the continental United States and prohibited from traveling to his home in the United Arab Emirates, but they also revealed for the first time in clear and certain terms that, at sentencing, the government may argue that CZ should be sentenced to 10 years in prison. And so here's the quote from the DOJ. The defense claims that Mr. Zhao faces merely a brief sentence and has no incentive to flee. The reality is that the top end of the guidelines may be as high as 18 months, and the United States is free to argue for any sentence up to the statutory maximum of 10 years. As the defense will certainly emphasize at sentencing, Mr. Zhao has a family and has never spent a day in custody. The penalties he faces at sentencing will no doubt seem significant to him, and that weighs in favor of the reasonable restrictions the United States proposes. End quote. And so I'm not stating that this is what's going to happen. All I'm telling you is that it's on the table. That's what's been reported to this point. So maybe it will be less. Maybe it's just tough posturing from the DOJ. I don't know. But there's a reasonable chance that even if it's on the lighter side, CZ's actually going to go to prison for some period of time. I don't know. We're going to see. But he already pled guilty. So it's certainly possible. And we're going to find out in the beginning part of next year. I can't remember the exact date, but I'm pretty sure it's the sentencing is at some point in February of 2024. So I'm going to find out pretty soon here. Just wild stuff. And again, like I said in a recent video, can you imagine having if I was telling you on this channel in like October of 2022, before the FTX collapse, if I told you that, a little over a year from this point in time, you're going to see the CEO and founder of FTX behind bars, probably or potentially for the rest of his life, and you're going to see CZ, the founder of Binance, potentially, he pleading guilty to very serious charges, including a felony, and he could be behind bars for up to 10 years. If I told you that in October, just over a year ago, October of last year, that would have sounded bonkers, right? It would have been like, oh God, how low will the price of Bitcoin go? Yet here we are. Like price-wise, the markets are not really shaking. If anything, there's just one more question mark that's been removed in the world of crypto. So is what it is, man. Things could certainly be worse. I'm not a financial advisor. You should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the moon, Lambo.